All right, so at 7 to 3, we'll open the meeting up. We do have a quorum. I see me, I see Lynn, I see Bog, I see Bill, I see Rebecca, and then of course Sandy and Amy. Ginny Thomas and Paul Berchinsky are not going to be with us tonight because they are attending the CA Newtown zoning meeting, which was scheduled at the same time as the board meeting. All right, so the first item on our agenda is to approve the minutes from the August 25th, 2020 board meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
I move we approve.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Lynn moves, Bill seconds. Is there any discussion? All right, all in favor? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Rebecca, do you have a hand up?
Yep.
Okay, that's unanimous. That's 5, okay. All right, next on the agenda is to approve the agenda for tonight's meeting. Is there a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
So moved.
Okay, Bill moves to approve. Is there a second?
I second.
Bog seconds. Is there any discussion on tonight's agenda?
It
No.
has the meanest look.
Okay, all in favor?
He looks like he's a white supremacist.
Good.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5-0.
We can hear everyone out there.
If you're not on the board, you're not speaking, please mute.
Okay, all right. We are going to resident remarks. If there are residents out there who would like to make remarks for the board, you get 3 minutes per resident. And please turn on your video and raise your hand, or use the various Zoom waves and blue hands or whatever else is available to get our attention. Resident remarks. Okay, I see Ashley.
Hey everyone, just me again stopping in. Wanted to touch base and let you all know we are getting ready to launch the community newsletter. So I know that we have the virtual fall fair that Oakland Mills will be doing, but wanted to find out if there's any other events you all are planning from now until potentially December. If you'll just send it to us via email, that way we can include it. We're looking at getting the newsletter out hopefully by tomorrow around noon. So if you think of anything, feel free to send me an email so we can make sure we include all of your community events. And we also have the farmers market. We put that date in there as well that's coming up.
Yeah, it's every Sunday until the Sunday before Thanksgiving.
Okay, perfect. We'll
9 to
update it with
1.
all the extra dates.
Great.
Yeah, thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
By the way, for those who don't know, Ms. Austin is in Councilman Jones's office, and she is a liaison to our community and has regularly attended our board meetings since her it was your first day on the job, right? The
Yes,
first day
it
you
was.
attended? Yes. Thank you for sharing.
Yes, sure thing.
Thank you.
Okay, any other resident remarks? All right, we will move on. There was no new business scheduled tonight. There are a couple of old business items. One is the discussion of the board position on the Housing Opportunities Master Plan. Bill and I drafted that last week. We sent a draft of that to the board over the weekend. I sent a revision, was that yesterday morning? Where Sandy caught that I accidentally typed the word contract instead of contrast. There was one other proposed revision that I have not gotten out, but I can inform you of what that was. It's a little bit of minor wordsmithing. So that's where we are with the draft. Bill, is there anything you wanted to say before we have board discussion?
Yes, thanks for entertaining this, number one. It is very important for the task force to get community engagement. And to me, a letter from the village board stating what the position of the community association is very important. And Jonathan and I basically put the information in the letter from documents that had already been approved by the board, so that it was fairly easy to say, here's the board position. These documents that we quoted from are actually on our village board website. And so then I'll open it back to Jonathan for discussion and on the letter itself. Thank you.
Okay, so the one minor change that did not make it to you was, and unfortunately the screen sharing is not working, but if you look at the first paragraph, toward the end, there's a quote from page 14 of the Village Center Community Plan that says it is crucial for the county to implement a comprehensive housing plan to provide ample opportunities for tenants at all income levels throughout the county. So tenants generally indicates renters, and of course we want our position with the housing task force to include, you know, both renters and owners in the county. The reason the word tenants is there is because the part of the VCCP that was lifted from, the context of that was rental units. So the proposal that I came up with to address that without, you know, adding words to the VCCP that weren't there originally is just to use an ellipsis. So basically say it is crucial for the county to implement a comprehensive housing plan to provide ample opportunities, ... at all income levels throughout the county. That way we haven't added words that don't exist in the VCCP. We've just, you know, cut the piece out that doesn't fit the context of this letter and then continued with the rest of that theme. So that's the only feedback I got via email after distributing this to the board. If there's other discussion, I can go member by member if you want to raise your hand and have something to say about it. Okay, back to Bill.
Yes, I think that's an excellent change because I looked at our Village Center Community Plan. I just looked at it. And in our Village Center Village Center and surrounding area that is defined as the 196 acres covered in the Village Center Community Plan, there are only rentals in that area. And I think that's why in the wording, we focused on rental, on tenants. But in there, we say throughout the county, so that in the context of the task force, I think the ellipses are great because from the task force, we're focused on residents of all incomes, renting and owning. So I think it's an excellent change.
All right, thank you, Bill. Lynn?
Just a quick follow-up question for you, Bill. Is that true that it is only, what about Shadow Oaks? Isn't Shadow Oaks owner occupied?
Oh, sorry, you're correct. Shadow Oaks is in the plan, right? They are condos. My fault. Thanks for correcting me. You got it. I'll have to call Phil and say, make sure you get some extra dessert tonight. What's your favorite? Pumpkin pie and
Key lime.
That's my favorite, key lime.
Okay, we're
Of course.
Gotta tell Phil some extra key lime pie for catching that. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Lynn. Did you have other comments?
No.
Okay, Rebecca or Bob, did you have comments?
No, I think everything is okay, looks okay.
Okay, is there a motion to approve this letter to the task force as amended?
So moved.
Okay, is there a second?
I second.
Bob went up as a second. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor of submitting the letter as amended? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, 500. All right, well, that was quick old business. Sandy, did you get the edit? I have a read-only copy open, so
Yeah, I
couldn't
have
see
it.
reply. Okay, great. I don't know what's going on with my computer. Everything, like screen sharing doesn't work. Everything's opening read-only. All right, the next piece of old business was board discussion on the Mellenbrook Road and Lightning View Road request for a speed and vehicular study. And then in the last meeting, we also brought the Mellenbrook / Bendix / 108 intersection into the discussion, as well as the path up to and across 108. And Sandy, thank you for pulling together a lot of the past material. So my recollection was right. The state did anticipate that the intersection would be downgraded by a couple of grades, yet didn't seem to have a problem with that. I'm going to open it up to everyone. I want to see what you think of this. I thought about this a bit after I reviewed all the material and thought about what we talked about at the last meeting. And at the time, I thought it made sense to combine all of this into one almost like omnibus, letter. But we have a couple of jurisdictions involved. We have 108, which is a state route. The intersection is really a state intersection because I forget how far, but for a certain distance down Mellenbrook and up Bendix, that's also state, because anything that intersects with a state highway, it comes over into what are our county roads by a little bit. So we have this state issue, and we're already on the record with that state issue, and we need some follow-up there, and we might need to partner with the county in pressuring the state a bit. And now we have this other issue with the speed on not just Mellenbrook, but Lightning View, which is a good distance away from here. And I'm not sure whether it's best to combine all of this, or if by combining all of it, it looks like such a big complex thing that everyone can say they're not responsible for part of it, so they're not doing any of it. Or if we should take the part that's strictly the county and send something to the county about Mellenbrook and Lightning View and the speed issue, and then send something to the state along with a request to the county that the county, support us and back us on what we need done with the state road and the intersection with the state road. The more I thought about that, the more I started leaning toward that rather than one big request that goes out to everyone and then they have to sort out who's responsible for what. But I'm open to suggestions because obviously, it's been an issue for a while, and we haven't had a great amount of success getting people to budge so far. So I think we need to keep trying or maybe try it in a different way. Lynn?
I would agree with you, Jonathan. I know I went through all of the documents this afternoon, and I got pretty confused as to just kind of going back to the letters and saying, well, this is the one that is really, oh, wait, I'm going to close the door because I can hear too much from outside my office.
That's still baking the pie.
Yeah, right. It is Bill. He heard you, Bill. Thank you. I had to keep going back and seeing that, where it said in the follow-up comments under each item, it said so-and-so is looking into this and we'll talk to so-and-so. And I had to keep kind of going back to try to keep track of, is this something going to the state or the county or, just where was it going? So I think by having it all in there together, it is confusing, and you've got so many players, and it would be easy for somebody to say, oh, we've got a lot going on right now. This is, we're going to have to take our time sorting this out. So that would just be my thought.
I agree with both of you. I mean, the original point of bringing it forward was just the Lightning View traffic study, and that's what I'd like to focus on right now. I mean, obviously everything else needs to get followed up, but the traffic study is what we can, do now.
So we're looking at doing the traffic study for Lightning View and Mellenbrook from Lightning View to 108.
I think it should be the entire length of Lightning View.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I guess technically not all of Mellenbrook is under OMCA, but I would just say all of Mellenbrook too.
Yeah, because I think we have to do both roads. I just want to make sure. Okay.
Yeah, but all I was saying is let's keep the issue that's strictly county with the county, and then let's keep the issue that's state as a separate one.
Yeah.
So we're not holding up the study by combining it with the county.
Exactly. That's what I'm concerned about. That it gets so complex that we'll just we'll create delays for ourselves because all the people receiving this will have to unravel what they're responsible for.
But the county letter should be copied. The state letter should be copied to the county.
Exactly.
And also the state letter should include the intersection. We had asked about a light at Thunder Hill Road, and we had asked about the crossing, pedestrian crossing.
Right.
So those would all be state. And I'll also copy Columbia Association in the state letter and the county, as well as the county.
Right. And I think that light at Thunder Hill Road is going to become important. If the state is basically saying the Mellenbrook 108 intersection is going to go down a couple of grades, then I mean, what's the other, the other intersection for ingress and egress into the village? It's Thunder Hill. So things are either going to back up there so you can't get in and out at certain times, as hard as it is now, or that's going to become the shortcut to avoid that intersection.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. I suppose what we need to do, I'm trying to think this through. I guess now we need to draft the separate communications and then approve those at the next meeting, or are we good with approving that we're going to have separate communications? One will be to the county asking for a traffic and speed study for the length of both Lightning View and Mellinbrook. The other will be to the state for a reconsideration of intersection improvements at 108 in Mellinbrook, consideration of a traffic light at 108 in Thunder Hill, and consideration of a pedestrian crossing at, and I forget the exact point, but we'll get the details. If we can approve all of that as our position tonight, then I think it's just a matter of drafting the letters, circulating them via email, having everyone confirm that these letters reflect what we approved, and we can send them off without losing another couple of weeks.
Yep.
So now do I have to repeat everything I just said as a motion?
Well, I'm just trying to look at, so this is, just to be clear, this is the March 7th letter that went to Brandon Love, Jen Biddle, Thomas Meunier, and Chris Jagarapu, I guess is how you pronounce it. That was draft action items from March 7th. And it goes into split the light signaling for no, this is the one that would go to the county.
Well, I'm going to rewrite it also.
I know, I'm just trying to parse out which items go in which letter.
Oh.
So I don't, so the signal is a state, that's a state
Okay, that's
intersection.
okay.
So I think we need to, that needs to go into the letter to the state with the copy to the county, reminding them that the county has already made this request.
Said yes.
I think the pavement, so the pavement lane markings at Mellinbrook and 108.
Seemed like it was the county.
It is, but that's a state intersection, so I'm not.
I know, but maybe
sure.
like,
If the county took it, then I would leave it with them.
yeah.
108 in Thunder Hill is state.
Mm-hmm.
Bendix Road sidewalk is county. Crossing.
The curb
Oh,
cut,
this is Red Branch Road. That's county.
that's county.
Pathway is county plus CA. And there we go. And then the 108 and Bendix Road intersection itself, the quality and safety of that intersection is State Highway Administration, because they're the ones who basically said it'll be downgraded, but it doesn't matter. That's a very high level summary of what they said, but that's basically what they said. It's like going from an A to a C or something like that, but that's okay.
And they don't mind if it does.
No, I mean, I don't understand why they have a grading system if you can drop 2 grades and that's not a problem. I know if I dropped 2 grades in school, I'd be in trouble with my parents and there'd be a conference. And then, of course, the Mellinbrook and Lightning View speed and traffic study, that's entirely county. That, there's no, until you get to the very end of Mellinbrook at the intersection where speed is no longer going to be a concern because you have to slow down for the light anyway, that's all county. So how about let me think of how to motion this. I motion that the board take a position to request that the county conduct a traffic and speed study for the length of Lightning View Road and Mellinbrook Road in the Thunder Hill neighborhood of Oakland Mills. In addition to that, I motion that we follow up with the county for the portions of the previously requested upgrades at Red Branch and Bendix, that we follow up with the county on progress toward those and reaffirm our position supporting those upgrades. In addition to that, that we send a request to the State Highway Administration to reevaluate the intersection of 108 Mellenbrook and Bendix, given their acknowledgement that the intersection would be downgraded with the opening of the courthouse. And in addition to that, that we include in that letter to the State Highway Administration a request for a traffic signal at Thunder Hill Road and Route 108 in anticipation of the increased traffic due to the downgrade of the intersection at Mellenbrook and Route 108. And all of that we send to the state would also be copied to the county for their information, along with a reminder that they have already gone on the record with the state in joining us in those requests in the past. Did I get everything?
Sounds good.
Can someone second that before my head explodes?
I'll second it. I'll second it. So we've got that done. And was there also something about a pathway letter with CA, et cetera, in there, or sidewalk?
I think that was the county, but also CA. So I'm not sure if that should, we can send maybe a third letter to CA and the state, actually it was.
I've got an idea. Is there any further discussion on what I motioned so far? Okay, all in favor? All right, that is 5-0-0. Okay, now I'm going to motion that we send a letter to both the county and the Columbia Association requesting a pathway. Oh, shoot.
I think that's a state also,
Is that state?
because it's on 108, but it's
well, all it says.
property.
All it says in that March 7th memo is that the Office of Transportation and CA have been in discussion. It doesn't mention the state.
Okay.
Well, I can, I'm going to do it this way, and then if we need to fix it, we'll fix it.
Okay.
I motion that we send a follow-up letter to the County Office of Transportation and the Columbia Association to reaffirm our support of and to request an update on a pathway project from the Orchard Green Tot Lot to the Red Branch Road traffic signal.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All right, all in favor? Okay, 5-0.
Thank goodness for recordings.
I hope I didn't miss anything there. I think I got everything, but if you ask me to repeat it, forget it. And I think just how the complexity of that motion, backs up this decision not to try to cram all of this into one letter to everyone. All right. All right, let me close files here. We are back to the agenda. Oh my gosh, are we already to the board chair report?
Yeah, wow.
Wow. All right, so board chair report. As some of you may have seen or heard today, unfortunately, it appears that Second Chance will be closing on October 11th. This time it sounds like it's for real. They've come, they've posted things on their social media about closing before, and then it became a non-issue. But this time they're not blaming the landlord or anything. They're saying they came to the decision and it's time to close down. I saw that like first thing this morning. So I sent an email off to Dina Berlin, who is the Cedar leasing I don't know if she's director, whatever. She's the corporate person who handles leasing. She's out of, I think, New Jersey. Asking her if Cedar had anything to say on the matter, and also asking her whether Cedar has, I'm assuming they notified Cedar at some point, so asking her whether Cedar has any plans for the space that she can share. I have not heard back from her yet. And quite honestly, it may not be safe to assume that Cedar knows anything yet, because I know when Y started telling everyone they were closing, they had not informed Cedar at that point. So
Don't they have to
I
give
could've-
notice?
well, you know,
Who knows?
some of these companies start telling their customers before they tell their landlord.
Depends on the lease.
So I have not heard back from Cedar yet, but if I do, I will make sure to share that with everyone. But
I emailed the property manager and she
Okay.
did email me back and she said, I have nothing to tell you. So
okay. But
they
you
know
this-
now.
Unfortunately, this time, you know, just based on the way that that note was written, it does sound like it might be for real. So, you know, unfortunately, I don't know, the Village Center may or may not have its first, you know, business victim of the slowdown in the pandemic, given that everyone's operating at reduced capacity. But if I learn anything more, I'll share it with all of you. If any of you learn anything, you know, please share it around, and I might try to get in touch with one of the owners of Second Chance or the manager. So sometimes they're good at getting back about things, other times they're not so great. But since they put it out there publicly, I thought, okay, I better get the landlord's perspective on this, because like I said, last time, I don't know what happened, but it all ended up not being a thing. And it was about a year ago at this time, the last time they put something out there saying, we're about to close. So that's what is happening there. This is, I didn't schedule an education committee report because we just met tonight. So I usually try to do that at the following meeting. But I just wanted to share, we did hear from an interesting group that you may have heard of. It's called Oakland Mills United. And this is a group that was formed by former and current Oakland Mills High School students. And basically they formed this group because they from inside the school, they've been seeing a lot of the things that we've been seeing from outside the school in the community. Basically how it's, you know, it's neglected from both an operational and a capital perspective. How, you know, good news coming out of the school is often overlooked by our local media and by the school system. Bad news coming out of the school is often highlighted for whatever reason that wouldn't be highlighted at other schools. And a lot of other things. So they really wanted to form like a student-run group to advocate for the school. And they had reached out to me over the summer saying, we'd like to come to one of these education committee meetings. We seem to have similar goals. We'd like to know how we can partner. I didn't do education committee meetings over the summer only because with all the uncertainty and everyone planning just how they were going to get their kids educated, that was just like 1 hour people didn't need to spend in July and August. So this was our first meeting. And it was a very interesting discussion. And the two leaders of this group, I mean, my gosh, they really have their act together and they're really impressive. And in addition to finding, you know, partners like us or like our education committee, the other thing they're trying to do is they're trying to get involvement in the schools throughout the Oakland Mills cluster. So they're starting to talk to the administrators at the middle schools and the elementary schools. And especially at the middle school level, they're hoping to get some of the students involved because, you know, these are teens and preteens, so they can kind of see what's going on. At the elementary school, it's going to be more about working with the administrators and parents. But of course, as one of their founders said, you know, no one can say no when a little second grader gets up in front of the Board of Education and says, give my school more money. So, you know, to the extent that can happen, you know, if their kid's brave enough to do that, all the better. So, I personally really like what they stand for and what they're trying to do. And I know the other members of the Education Committee in attendance were very impressed. There were a lot of good questions and discussions. So, you know, we may be hearing more from this organization called Oakland Mills United in the days and weeks and months to come. Let me think. Let me check my notes here to see if I had anything else. I did Second Chance. I did Oakland Mills United. Nope, I think I have everything. Any questions for me?
Yeah.
Bill?
Yes, Jonathan, real quick. OMI, I think it'd be fantastic if we ask them to come to a board meeting with the thought in mind of giving a brief presentation of what their purpose is, what they want to accomplish, what their issues are, et cetera. And so we have kind of a discussion back and forth between board members and the members of OMI, because I think we can be their ally, they can be our ally.
Mhm.
And I think it's fantastic that current students and graduates of Oakland Mills are in this organization. I think it'd be fantastic. And I agree that when little second graders appear before the county council or board of ed and talk money, it does have an impact. And I think from a perspective of learning civics and how things function in the village, in the county, and getting things done, I think it'd be fantastic for them. And if any of them are current students, this could count toward their community service, potentially. So I think it'd be great. And I suggest that at some point we ask them in, maybe talk with them now, and so they can put together presentation and issues, et cetera. And as they come to your education committee meeting, prime them for appearing before our board. Just a suggestion.
I think they would be very interested in doing that. I think they wouldn't hesitate. So I'll continue to work with them and see what we can put together.
Yeah, that's a great suggestion, Bill. Terrific.
Okay, any other questions or comments for me? All right, so we are on to the, oh, Bill, I'm sorry, we can just roll this up under mine. I didn't get to catch up on my emails. Ginny sent something to me asking if you could cover something she wanted to share, but when she couldn't be here, I saw the email and I didn't get to read the details. Do you want to work that in now? I can just give you some of my time.
I haven't read it, okay? I'm behind.
Okay.
Okay, for lots of different reasons, both soccer starting, the task force is biggie, personal business that is taking far more time than I ever envisioned. And so I'm behind, so I haven't got to read that yet, unfortunately.
All right, let me, if you can bear with me, let me see if I can pull up my email. I don't want to do it on the computer because I'll end up disconnecting all of you. Let me see if I can pull this up on my phone real quick and see if it's something that makes enough sense to me that I could at least give the highlights. Sorry, I thought it was something that you and she had already discussed.
It might be, and we didn't discuss it this week, but it might have been something we've discussed from the
Okay.
paper.
Oh, here we go. It's kind of an update on her reports of the past couple of meetings. On the CA childcare issue, she says that there's going to be an update on the status of childcare, which would include number of school sites, number of children, cost, etc., this Friday to share. CA staff met with the county regarding the issue of Howard County using CARES Act dollars to subsidize recreation in parks, daycare in the schools, which is putting CA and other providers at a competitive disadvantage. So the county apparently is going to get back to the providers on the issue of that. On the Columbia Horse Center, it looks like Ginny or members of the board visited the Horse Center last week with CA staff. CA made environmental and facilities improvements several years ago, and in early October, she'll be able to share the results of the RFP for a tenant to operate the facility. There are budget votes coming up this Thursday on revenue parameters. I think that was covered in a lot of detail in the email blast that Ginny sent out to the community. Annual cap, annual charge rate, reserve fund, membership increase. And then the selection process for hiring a new CEO and president of CA is on track to have someone on board May 1st. Ginny chaired a subcommittee of the board to interview firms to guide them through the process, and she is presenting the results to CA. It says she's presenting the results to the CA board tonight, but they don't have a full board meeting tonight. I don't know if it really is tonight or she means at Thursday's meeting, but she's presenting the results very soon. All right, hopefully I covered that as well as you would have. All right, Sandy, on to you. I would ask if there are any questions, but that's all I know. Sandy, on to you.
Okay, all I know is that the other barn's in the midst of its facelift and safety upgrades. So there's all new, really nice wood-looking laminate flooring in the loft. No more carpet up there to get disgustingly filthy after every event. So we hope that the laminate will work nice. So once we did that, Brigitte and I went through it yesterday and realized how it really needs to be painted. So we have a lot of time with no one in there. We have an event on October 9th, but after that, I think I'll get some estimates to see if we can get it painted while it's empty, so that I'll have a fresh new look, because we haven't had it repainted in 12 years since we had it redone. And they're doing this today, so I'm going to try to get over there tomorrow, the carpet in the whole downstairs. And there's a big crane, or there was one yesterday, I don't know if it's still there today, around the silo, because they're putting a new dome on and doing other repairs to the silo, and then getting new treads for the kitchen and rear stairs. So probably by the end of next week, everything should be done. And then we can move all of our stuff back in our offices. Most of it will be moved back in probably today and be good. So that part is good. We're all still plugging away, mostly working from home, but once the office is back together, not that we'll have regular hours, but we will set up, go back to giving the tours again. And if people have to drop something off, you know, we'll be able to go there. So once the building's back in order, those of us who have to go in and out can do it. That's if we can put all our things back, because there's so many wires in the back offices from 40 years of being occupied that it'll be a miracle if we can actually hook anything back into where it goes. And I am not kidding.
This
So
would be a good opportunity to just get some new cables in there, like for internet and stuff like
we'll
that.
see what we can do, because it's just a heap of old wires dangling right now. But that's exciting. So I'm really happy and thankful to CA for doing it, and they couldn't have picked a better time to redo everything than now. So that's great. We're a little bit slower in the RAC applications, which is really good, because it was a crazy summer. And just when we said, oh, we have no letters of compliance, we got 5 in a row, but we've got a good system set up for that. So I don't think there's much else to tell anyone. We're just plugging away. And does anyone have questions? Brigitta's working, she's here, she wants to talk. She's working on the virtual festival. So we're getting vendors that are going to be it'll be online on Saturday, October 3rd. So there's information we've put out. So that's coming along. And I think the police, I don't have the information yet, but Officer Lopez said that on Friday, October 9th, they're looking at getting some community ice cream truck that'll be a social distance ice cream event for the community or for the kids or whatever. He asked me today about the parking lot, and because we do have our one event that day, I suggested they put it in the parking lot where their trailer already is, because that's kind of a safe lot without traffic. So he thought that would be good. So he was going back to say, you know, we wanted it in Oakland Mills. So if it happens, I'll be sending out information on that.
Yeah, their parking lot would make more sense anyway. Our parking lot has all the...
Yeah, I think he was a little confused
Caesars.
about parking lots. So,
Yeah.
But hopefully that'll happen, and I'll let you all know in the community. That's it. Anyone have questions?
I was just going to comment that if the offices or anything, like when I took everything out of my family room, ripped out the floors, you're going to hook everything up and find you have several extra cables, but yet everything still works.
Well, I hope so. We threw out one extension cord that didn't even have prongs that would have even fit in anything, just dangling, connected to some other power cord. So
we still have this wire sitting down there. We don't know what it was for, but we're afraid to throw it away. Everything's working, but it's sitting there.
So I'll let you know. Luckily, we're connected at home.
Well, I can say, speaking as someone who had a house burned down because of a faulty cable, you know, don't take chances.
No. So we'll go through it. I might ask our IT guy, Robin, to come in.
I think that would be really good.
Yeah. Put it together.
Fog?
Yeah, a short while ago, I heard Ashley talk about farmers market.
What about?
We're going to have farmers market back.
What about
It's
it?
been back. It's been running all summer.
Yeah, we have farmers market closed for last 6 months.
No,
Actually,
No, it's been open.
it's
it's
open.
open.
It's open.
Oh, since when?
Since May, Sunday of Mother's Day, and I go there, so I know it's open every Sunday from 9 until 1.
Yeah, I had no idea. I thought because of the pandemic, they may be closed.
No, it's really working out great. There's always a crowd,
Yeah,
a
thanks.
masked
Thanks.
social
Nice
distance
setup.
crowd.
Yeah, you have to wear a mask, and it's a one-way flow of traffic in one way out the other, so it works well.
Oh, really? I'd just go in. I'd have no idea there was.
Oh, well, maybe they've lightened up on that, but when I was
Yeah.
going early in the season, they had arrows and everything.
Oh,
No, that
I'm
was
not
in the beginning. They said they've changed that because the vendors did not like it.
but it's fine.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
you have to monitor yourself as well. So,
Yeah.
if someone's there, you stay back until no one's there. It works, I think.
The grocery stores.
Yeah.
Thank
So
you.
it's there. Check it out on Sunday.
Yeah, I will.
All right, any other questions for Sandy? Okay, committee reports, architecture, Lynn?
Yeah, just real quick, we had a RAC meeting on Thursday, and we had 16 applications, and they all passed. A couple of them are being held for some additional information, but they all passed just with, just easily passed. Nobody had any issues with any of them. And a lot of them are really, really nicely put together, really interesting changes to the property. So I think we can look forward to seeing some really good improvements around the community. And also, I can't remember when this was, Sandy, but the NRAC committee met to look
It's
over
Wednesday.
on Wednesday, the day before, to look over the signage application for the laundromat people. And there again, I think that the committee that came had some really good suggestions and questions. And we had some communication from members of the community that also raised some really good issues. And so I think it's gone back now to the applicants to provide some more detail. And that's about it.
All right, very good. So we are to the bulletin board.
Must be a record.
This has to be a record. It's quarter
This
to
is a
8.
record.
It has been a great meeting.
All right, well, let's start the bulletin board. So I'm going to start up at the top here with Lynn.
Nothing more.
Okay, Bod?
Yeah, I have one personal landmark to share with all of you. September 22nd, 1981, I and my family arrived from London after finishing my job with the BBC World Service. So this will go down as a landmark in Burma history.
Happy anniversary.
39 years.
September 22nd, 39 years ago.
39 years to the day. Wow.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yes.
Yesterday, September 21st, was the 37th anniversary of my birth.
Oh,
Oh, happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
congratulations.
Thanks.
Wow. This is a big couple of days for the board.
Yeah.
I don't have anything in September. I don't know. All right, well, let's go to the birthday girl next.
First, real quick before I forget, Lynn mentioned the laundromat, and I don't know when the right time to say this is, so I'll just tell you guys now because we don't have to do anything about it. But I know how we were hemming and hawing all summer about how we didn't want, or all spring, whenever that was, how we didn't want the laundromat because we thought that there was no need for it. It turns out, I've been talking with, actually, she's not on here tonight, but Jessica, who is a Shadow Oak resident, and she said even though they do technically have laundry facilities at Shadow Oak, they're terrible and expensive and broken. So she is so excited for the laundromat to be coming in.
Good.
So just,
Good.
I know we fought it and we couldn't do anything about it, and now it's coming. So we can at least take heart that there are some residents who are happy about it.
Yeah, I'll just pick up with that one of the things that we found out about the laundromat is that it will be manned. One of the things that we were worried about was that there wouldn't be anybody inside, which could make it kind of dangerous. And I also heard from people who said, yeah, I've got a washer dryer at home, but if I want to do my big bedspread or, some things like that, that really these big industrial size laundromat facilities are really the place to go. So thank you for that.
I mean, I think really, I think that could have gone a lot better early on had there just been more transparency, from the people involved in that transaction. Because before we even took a position, I sent in an email with a series of questions, and some of those questions were just to that. Who's the target market? Where in Oakland Mills do we think we have people who don't have access who could benefit? Is this a 24/7 unmanned? Is it manned? And my gosh, if we had just gotten some of those answers early on, maybe we would have felt differently about things. So that's good to hear.
Someone had a hand raised when we go through our whole board thing. Okay, Jonathan.
Oh, did someone have a hand
It's
raised?
down though. Maybe it was an accident.
Okay, if you had a
No
hand
more.
raised, just raise it again. I'll continue on the bulletin board with.
Oh, wait, one other thing for me. Sorry.
Okay.
I met with Chris Jacopu. As Sandy knows, he wanted to do a promotion video for Whiteacre Streetscape.
Oh, right,
for
right.
Howard County. Chris Jacobu is the transportation guy. So they're doing a promotion video for all the pedestrian friendly or the improvements they've made around the county. So I did a little promo video about how beautiful I think Whiteacres is and how useful it is to have the bike trail on there or the lanes. And anyway, so look for that. I'll be famous pretty soon.
If you know when it's going to be out, let us know.
He said he'd let me know. It would be a little while because
Okay, great. Thank you for doing that.
Yeah, it was fun. But in that process, we were talking about the safety of crossing when, now that Whiteacres is so lovely. And then also the CA path ends right there. And then you cross to go to downtown and you have to cross Stevens Forest, which is kind of dangerous now compared to the rest of it. So I wanted to throw it out there. I'm going to have, or see if Warren, if the Open or Public Space Committee wanted to talk about getting a traffic study. But Chris Jacobu said he's had a lot of people actually contact him about trying to make that a three-way stop there. So that'll be on the horizon.
I think when you do, a big selling point for the county to support it is the whole Bridge Columbia pedestrian path, because when they built that and they were going to redesign Whiteacre, there was talk about a roundabout there. There was talk about connecting the path right to where the intersection was, and that doesn't happen. So I think that's a good selling point for us, is to make sure we mention the Bridge Columbia path, because it all drops there.
Yeah.
Actually, Sandy, to your point, I think that was on the original drawings.
Right, it was a roundabout actually.
Yeah.
I think the problem with the roundabout was somehow they couldn't get it to align.
To line up, but yeah, so I really do think that's a good idea, at least, is to make sure there's something there.
It's such a major crosswalk for the kids too. At school time, and even without that, there's always kids crossing and like running with track and stuff. So it's really important to have a good intersection there.
Let me know what I can do to help with Warren and all that too.
Yeah, it would be nice to have it be attractive too, not just a four-way stop, because it is an entry to our village center.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all.
All right, Bill.
A quick note that I think tonight's meeting will go down in the record books as being the shortest meeting with the longest motion.
All right, Sandy.
Nothing. Just I'll thank my my girls, my staff, because we keep connected, we meet every Wednesday, and no one's enthusiasm has waned, even given reduced hours for people and school and all that. So I just want to thank them all for hanging in there. So.
All right, Amy?
Nothing for me.
Okay. Real quick, I suppose I could have done this in my chair report, but since you already know, I just wanted to go on the record and say thank you to the Howard County Planning Board. And once again, congratulations to Nancy Thompson and the whole Talbot Springs Elementary community. The Planning Board almost immediately approved the site development plan. So after all the fits and starts and everything else, that project will soon be a lot more than just a hole in the ground. And if everything goes as planned, then Talbot Springs students should be arriving at their new school in September of 2023. I hope I got that right. Two. I'm sorry, two. It's only 2020.
Yeah.
You have to understand, I work for the federal government. We're about to cross over into
FY
fiscal year 21.
Yeah.
So I keep thinking 21 now.
I know, that's my problem.
You're
Yes.
doing budget year.
So I keep adding 2 to the wrong year. 2022.
You can't chase 2020 out of here that easily.
Oh, please get it out of
really
here.
good.
All right. If there's nothing else, we can adjourn. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good night,
Night,
everybody.
everybody.
Good night.